And here we go. I am going to have to move that, so sorry if you guys get a pause up now. And we are in. There we go. Okay, welcome to NRC Division 2, round 18, Monaco. This is qualifying 1 out of the 3 sessions as the first few drivers are coming out onto track. I believe I have just been sent the weather, so we will have a look at that. It is a wet end to the race. Okay. Well, there's a, all I know is there's a wet end to something. I don't know if that is quali or that is quali. So there's a wet end of qualifying. That's gonna be, oh no, it's a wet end to the race, sorry. Let me get, okay, qualifying should be fully dry for these drivers. That would be an improvement, but it looks to be a wet end to it, as Shatil will be the first driver to finish their outlap and actually start their flyer, so we'll hop on board with him. For the streets of Monaco, one of the tightest race circuits, where track position means everything here, as there are very limited opportunities for overtaking, mainly because it is Monaco. Where could you overtake? I will just get the Twitch chat up in case anyone is in there actually trying to talk. I'm sorry if I've ignored anything, but we see Shatil come through the first sector at the minute. No invalidations from him, very nicely done. It's actually very hard to invalidate. We see the Red Bull keeping out of the way there. Very nicely done, as it's very awkward around here to actually get a clean lap in due to multiple drivers can be on fast laps and out laps blocking you, so there may be a couple of blocks we see in this qualifying, maybe even a couple of crashes, we don't know yet. But we do have a new driver this week. The driver is in the Ferrari is Fragstar, up again for his first race. So we'll see how well he can do, as we see Shatil come through the chicane right now. No collision with the wall, very nicely done. Still got his full front wing, which is very good. So he now comes through the left-hander, keeps almost flat out, and now it's through swimming pool. No invalidations, no collisions with the wall. Verstappen had actually binned it a couple years ago. Comes through the final 2 corners, and we'll see what he sets as a benchmark for the other drivers to beat. Shatil comes across the line, opening his DRS. He puts in a 1:10.5, as there is a yellow flag there. That is for Deviant. Deviant has just stopped. Deviant, you're going to have to move, lad. There you go. Don't want you getting disqualified. As we do actually have Aaron Storm go quickest all there with a 10.1. Skeefy sets a 10.7, but I believe Skeefy is not on a lap. Next driver to cross the line will actually be Z Williams of Lyre Racing. Lyre Racing opening his DRS right now as we hop on board with him. So you can do as he comes across the line, he can put his car up into P4 there with a 12.6. He may be able to improve on that this lap or next lap. There is the Haas as well. I don't know who that is, as they do start their flyer. We also see Jocelyn and his lap there. Then it is the Ferrari, I believe, of Fragstar about to start his lap. So we'll hop on board with him for the first little bit, as the next 2 cars to come across the line will be starting flyers. I believe the next car on a hot lap is Lewis. I believe he is just coming through swimming pool right now. I need to double check that. Nope, Lewis is actually coming across the line to start his flyer. So that means it will be his teammate of Shatil who comes into the pit, so we can actually hop back on board with Fragstar. Lewis has left the session. Thank you, Jaffa, for telling me it's raining at the end of the race. I've already been informed of that, as Christoph has joined. Christoph will now hop into a car more than likely to start his qualifying as well, as he had to join late because of reasons. The Ferrari of Dame Zero is just starting his lap. We also see NRC Arnson about to start his lap a bit further down, followed by Aaron Storm, who has just started into the pit, and then it'll probably be Lyre Racing, who also hops into the pits. So we hop aboard with Lyre. Lyre's actually on a lap, 5/10 up. We'll see what he can do to the final sector. Yes, I read messages, Jaffa. I do read messages, as Jaffa has come into P5. You have probably told me something in Div NRC, haven't you? No, you haven't. What do you mean read messages? I have actually missed the Ferrari there of Freyagstar, set an 11-2. Next car to cross the line, it was going to be Deviant. Deviant has invalidated coming into the pits. Rhythm has also invalidated, so he'll come into the pits. Or he might actually come into, this says an outlap, so he won't actually come into the pits, but he might need to hurry up as the Ferrari of Dame Zero is coming through on a fast lap. I know that he has been struggling with a loose rear end all day today as he's managed to actually keep the car. Very well done. He comes across, comes down at the pit straight. What can he put his car? He set an 11-4. That puts him ahead of his teammate and up into P4. Very well, good lap. Very nice and tight lap from him there. NRC Arnson. We'll see where he can put his car. He puts up into P8, but he's on the medium compound tyre, probably saving sauce for the final stint. The final stint, the final qualifying session. But there's a 12-1-7-3 in there. My brain just took a little bit of time to process the numbers then. But Lyre Racing also comes into the pits, so it'll be a Haas. Any Haas on an outlap? Nope. Haas and Ferrari both come into the pits. Only people that are on actual flyers are Arnson, who's currently not on a flyer. Dame Zero, who's currently not on a flyer as he's low on fuel. And Nigelator, who's on an outlap, so we can hop on board with Nigelator for a bit. We'll wait for other cars to come out. As he has actually clipped the wall, and that has cost him an end plate. He's going to be annoyed with himself there, as he's probably going to have to come to the pits. That is going to greatly hamper his turning speed. Hello, DSJ as well. Welcome to the Twitch chat. A lot more drivers now coming out to probably set their second run of this qualifying session. Both Red Bulls have come out. I believe Nigelator hit another wall then. That's going to damage his downforce even more, as yes, he is still missing. He's missing both end plates now. So he's going to want to hurry back to the pits as Deviant and Jaffa are both next to each other on the circuit. They'll be hoping one of them gets out of the way for the other during this qualifying session, as the Mercedes there of Skeefy is also on the back of them. He will want to put Fade on. That's better. Right, he'll also want to be away from these drivers, as you can see now multiple drivers starting to separate, with the Renault of Apex who's dropped back a bit more, Rhythm who's dropped back a bit more off of the back of them. We also have Lewis who's dropped a bit further back of them, followed by the Haas there of Bjorkland who's dropped back a bit further off them, but other Renaults now come out as well. The Red Bull of Deviant has come into the pits, so Jaff will be the first car to start his flyer, so we'll see what Jaff can end up doing here. Jaffa coming into Sandoval, will hope to take it really nicely and not invalidate. He does not clip the wall on the outside. Very nicely done from him now, as he comes up towards the casino section of the circuit, racing up the hill, through the swinging left-hander, and now he'll be into a braking zone for the right. Keeps it going, comes down the hill across all the bumps, and now down through the right-hander. Big look up from there as he's now coming into the hairpin. Very nice view for the hairpin here, as he is also followed by then Skeefy, who's just a bit further behind him. Jaff will be hoping that Renault can stay out the way as he comes now through, and he's going to come into the tunnel section now. Renault staying nicely out the way for him and Skeefy there. As Jocelyn or DSJ, whichever one you want to call him, says hopefully it doesn't have to go out again. Yeah, sure, that's looking very tight at the front, but you may want to keep an eye on other times such as Jaffa, Skeefy, Storm and others like that, as they can displace you very quickly. Jaffa now coming through the swimming pool chicane. No invalidation from there, but he does lose an end plate. That is big, as that is going to hamper his downforce for these last two corners. We'll see what he can do. Swings through the first right-hander and into the second, as now he has to actually take a little bit of the left run. Lewis has left the session again, but he comes across the line after opening his DRS. Where can he put it? He puts it P2 with a 10.7. We'll also hop on board with Skeefy. Skeefy's just about to finish his lap. Skeefy improves by 9/10 with a 10.8. We'll see if he can improve. Thank you, Boots, there as well for that compliment. It's nice. AMS Rhythm, we'll see what he can end up doing, as he has invalidated his first lap. He'll probably come and start a second lap. Bjorkland here on a lap as well, coming through the first of the two right-handers. No wing damage from there, no invalidation either, so this will be a good lap for him to set. Coming down, opening his DRS, where can he put it? He can put it up into P6 with a 10.8, a very nice lap from him there. We next have the Mercedes Esquifi, who I believe, that's not Esquifi, it's Arntzen, who's on an outlap on the medium tyres again, I believe, as we get a view of his rear wing as he comes into Sandoval. The AlphaTauri staying nicely out of the way on the right hand side. Proven the weather conditions are dry for qualifying, but a wet end to the race, so it will be throwing a couple of curveballs out there for these drivers. All want to start on dry setups, but we'll see what they have to do. DSJ says he's 3/10 down in Sector 1 compared to Jaffa. We know Jaffa did end up damaging his front wing, which is going to hamper him a bit more. The Renault, I believe that is of Roland. We'll see where Roland can put it as he's coming now, opening his DRS. Coming down the one and only DRS straight on this circuit, he ends up putting it to P12 with a 12.3. He'll want to improve on that to secure safety, as there are still all 18 drivers, no DNFs yet. Which is surprising, knowing it's the streets of Monaco, and we know how drivers get attached to these walls a bit too often around here. Yeah, Jaffa saying that he messed up Sector 3. Yeah, Jaffa, we caught downstream. You ended up hitting the wall, which did cost you a bit. Arntzen 5/10 up on his time, coming through swimming pool now into the first of the two right-handers. We'll see what he can end up doing as he keeps it nicely turned in. No clipping of the wall, still got full front wing. Just runs out of ERS as he's starting down this straight there. It's going to hamper him a little bit on this lap time, but we'll see what he can do. He ends up putting an 11.2 in, so a big improvement from him there, latching right onto the back of his teammate of Skeefy, and he is on the medium compound tyres, meaning he hasn't cost himself a set of softs. Nigel is just coming out the pits, so that means it is his teammate of Iran Storm who's just about to start his flyer. He'll hopefully keep out of the way. He has proven, I think, some of the drivers who race in Div 4 for Iran could have some PTSD of the wet weather here, as we all know how that affected everyone for that division in that league. Rhythm now going to be on an in lap, I believe, as he is 2 seconds slower. Might be starting a quick lap actually, yes he is starting a quick lap. We'll see what he can end up doing. He does come through the DRS straight, that is an out lap. I'm going to see Roland comes into the pits. This is a very weird pit lane as they have to come right in, which can cost him massively. Chatil starting his lap. Arntzen's on an in lap. There we go. Sorry, I pulled my headset out yet again. That is something I'm going to try to stop doing. Is Deviant here is invalidated coming into the pits as well. Lewis keeps leaving and joining. That is due to his connection. The AlphaTauri of Nigelator starting his lap, and he is closely followed by his teammate of Iran Storm. Iran Storm coming through the final corners now. He's 1/10 up on his time. That 1/10 improvement will actually put him up into P2, but he goes even quicker. He improves by another 1.5 tenths down that straight, which means he must have got a better exit off that corner, improving to beat Jocelyn there. Next car to cross the line will actually be Jocelyn's teammate of Rhythm. Rhythm swinging his car through all these chicanes, corners, and seeing what he can do. Coming through the first right hander, gets really deep, so it's going to massively hamper him. He's got wing damage there as he's actually keeping this lap on. You can see how much more he's got to turn in with that damaged end plate. Where can he put it? He is slower by 9/10 in that lap, so he is going to be kicking himself after that, as he's probably going to try and just come into the pits, fix that up, as Yorkland has left the session. I'll try and get Yorkland back in here. Chatil, we'll see where Chatil can put it. Chatil comes across the line, improvement by 1/10 there, puts it into P5 as I believe DSJ or Jocelyn is annoyed now that Storm's gone quicker than him, as he thought that lap was good enough just to keep him in top place. As Fragstar and Dame Zero, both of the Ferrari drivers, are on out laps. We'll see if they can improve on their lap time. Fragstar's first race for us here in NRC. We'll see what he can do. As his lap time he's going to try and beat is an 11.864. Yorkland has rejoined. Chatil, I believe, someone's moved up. I don't know who moved up there. I might have been Chatil, but Chatil's not in a place to move up the leaderboard. I don't know. But next car to cross the line is actually going to be, it would have been Jaffa pits, would have been Iran Storm pits. So it's going to be the Ferrari here of Dame Zero. We'll see what Dame can do on the start of this lap as he opens his DRS coming down the start-finish straight. Probably the only place where you can actually overtake is into Sandoval, as it's very tricky for any other braking zone for this circuit. So he comes up the hill now, no damage to his front wing as he's going to swing it left and right. Tricky place to overtake up the hill, but some drivers do actually dare to do it as he comes through the first left-hander. We'll see what he can do coming through the end of Sector 1 just about now. He's barely improving on his time through Sector 1, so he must not have lost his time through Sector 1. It might be through Sector 2 or 3, as this hairpin is a common place for people to lose their time. Very nicely turned in on those softer compound tyres. Turns it right as he's coming now down the hill again, through another right-hander as he now looks to go through the tunnel. As his rear end is all squirrely coming out that corner, so we'll see what he can do. Now that it's going to hamper him a little bit coming through. Now, heavy braking zone into the chicane. Nicely turned in. So it's a tricky part of the circuit. You can clip your rear wheel and just spin it as he now comes into the left-hander. Very nicely done. No clipping of the wall now coming through the first part of the swimming pool and the second part of the swimming pool. Foot almost flat going through there, about 100, maybe 120. Comes into the heavy braking zone of the first of the two right-handers. Second braking zone of the first of the two right-handers. Careful not to clip the wall on the outside. Opens his DRS. Where can he put his car? The improvement by 5/10 there. Very good. He did not actually move up any places, but an improvement by 5/10. He won't be annoyed with that, as we do see Breezy starting his lap. Breezy, who we usually only see do one lap in qualifying, as he is now on his flyer. As Fragstar's also coming through swimming pool where his teammate was. Very nice angle from the cameras there. Very careful not to hit any wall there. Now coming through the first right-handers. No, not clipping the wall, but he does pit. Might not have been up on his time, or believes he is safe in P9. But we do have drivers like Kustov, Lewis, Breezy, Nigelator, Deviant, all out on circuit. Nigelator is an out on circuit, sorry about that. But speaking of drivers out on circuit, well, the first run at pits. And then it is the McLaren down here of Kustov. He's about to end his first flying laps. We'll see where Kustov can end up putting it. Kustov now comes across the line. He moves himself up to P14 there. Very nice and tidy lap from him there, but he looks like to be going on to a second fly, so I'll hop on board with him later as we do actually see Breezy. A big crash there from Breezy coming out of the tunnel down the hill. I don't know what has happened there, but that is probably going to mean if Lewis can improve somewhat on his lap here as he looks to be starting his flyer now. I don't know if he was hampered as he does. Lewis smashes into the wall at Sandervot. That is going to be painful for him there. So Breezy and Lewis there look to be two drivers who are definitely out. As is Lewis lagging or is it me? Because from what I saw there, he's just hit the wall head on and has no damage. Arnson is retired, so these drivers retiring are in the pits as they know they cannot improve. BTX or BTR Kustov now is coming through the left-hander. Keeps it almost flat, about 100 miles an hour. Now coming back through at about 150. Brakes a bit. Keeps it very nicely turned in. Quickly back onto the power as he is now low on his ERS, which is going to hamper him. Careful not to hit the wall on the outside, but that heavy braking has cost him massively, and so is that second lot of heavy braking. As Jaffa has said, now he's lagging bad. Okay. Well, you can see on stream how badly he is lagging Jaffa, but improvement by 2/10 there from Kustov. Moves him up quite far. Roland, we're going to see where he can put it as he finishes his lap. He improves by 1.4 seconds there and puts himself out of the danger zone. Lewis is finishing his lap now. We'll see what he can do. He's up by 11 seconds, but he hasn't validated. So all he can hope to do is get across the line and start another lap, which he has barely. Other drivers like Kustov, low on ERS, looks to be starting another lap, which is confusing for me, but AMS Rhythm now coming through. DSJ, you're able to stay up there as there is. Lewis is retired from the session on circuit. Lewis was lagging bad. Rhythm, where can Rhythm put it? It doesn't improve there, okay. So a non-improvement there from Rhythm, meaning the only car who's still out on a flyer is Kustov. Kustov now coming down the hill as he is an improvement. On this lap he is 1.3 seconds slower, as we do see his tail light on, meaning he is trying to recharge his energy. Any movement from me ends up pulling my controller out of my headset. I'm sorry if this cuts off audio to the stream or something. Kustov does pit, so Kustov is safe, meaning the drivers that we are losing now. You've got to correct me if I'm wrong here, but it's Nigelator, Breezy and Lewis the only three we're losing. We're not losing Deviant, are we? Or is Deviant getting dropped off at the end of this? And DSJ saying he's happy with his laps. Yes, I'm not surprised. Your laps are very good there. Keeping yourself up in P2 just behind Ear and Storm. As Deviant is apologising if he got in the way of everyone. As, yeah, people are starting to realise that Lewis is lagging out all over the place. We can actually have confirmation now. Jaffa saying he might actually get pole. So yeah, we have only lost 3 drivers now. So that is Nigel, Breezy and Lewis. Arnson managing to scrape through on the medium compound tyres. That's very nice for him there. We'll see what he can end up doing in Q2, as these will determine the tyres that he actually starts the race on. Whereas, yeah, we got the 2 AMS boys boosting each other up, saying that Jaffa can get pole. Of course, of course. As we are now going to wait for the first drivers to actually head out. I'm guessing first driver to head out is going to be one of the Ferraris. That's my guess now. I hear the first car starting up in the garage. Who's it going to be? You want tyres? Yes, you do, of course. There you go. As it is a Mercedes and a Racing Point first 2 out. If I'd said Mercedes, that would have been fine. Fastest lap and fitted. There you go. That better? As Jaffa's on mediums, Deviant's on mediums, Jocelyn's on mediums, Shatil's on mediums, and Yorkland is on mediums. Arnson deciding to switch off of his strategy in Q1 to put onto the mediums. He has now checked the softs on his car. So we'll see what he can end up doing, as Jocelyn is the first car out on circuit. As he is just driving through the casino area at the minute of this track. Goes down the hill through all the bumps, which are amazing in the wet weather when your car decides it doesn't want to grip around there. Jocelyn the first one to lock up through that corner and through the hairpin. Jocelyn, we're trying not to paint the circuit black here, okay? We're trying to keep it as nice grey colour. We don't need you locking up at every single corner you drive through, okay? As you are just going to shake through the tunnel. I would have laughed if you had crashed then. I would have genuinely have laughed. As he does come through the chicane, the heaviest braking point on the circuit right there. Is it the heaviest? I think it is. But yeah, he will be the first driver, and he will be hoping that other cars do stay out of the way. Him on the yellow striped medium compound tyre. We'll see what he can end up doing. As he opens his DRS, there is a yellow flag in sector 2. That is just the Mercedes there, I believe, of Skeefy slipping up a bit. I might be wrong, I'm not sure. But we do also see Jocelyn getting all out of shape coming up the hill there. Suddenly just lost the rear end, had to catch it. Very nicely done, as he is still keeping his foot planted coming through there. So he looks to be carrying on this lap. May just want to set a benchmark as his rear end gets steppy yet again. So he does not seem to be comfortable with that rear end, as he also tries to paint the circuit then again. And again. And his rear end gets all steppy again, as I believe that is Shatil behind him. Shatil also on the yellow striped medium compound tyres. There is a yellow flag. That is due to a car just slowing up to give the car ahead of him a bit of breathing space, so he doesn't actually get his dirty air coming through the circuit. Coming in now to the left-hander, a lock-up on the brakes again there from Jocelyn, keeping it very nicely turned in, very close to the outside wall, but does not end up damaging his front wing. Comes through the first of the swimming pool chicanes, and the second rear end just steps again. Jocelyn is going to be annoyed with this lap, probably going to just set one straight after this, as he is just setting a benchmark. It seems like he will want to improve on that lap time. I'm going to hop on board with Shatil to see what Shatil can do. Shatil looking to be in a much more comfortable position. Jocelyn setting an 11.3 there. Not a bad lap time, even with those rear end steps. But Shatil beats it by 5/10 there. I don't believe Shatil had any trouble with his rear end, as it is NRC Arnson. The next car to cross the line sets a 10.9. I saw Skeefy cutting corners then. What have you done to your front wing, Skeefy's lost an end plate. Of course, Skeefy's lost an end plate, so that is going to hamper Skeefy massively. Dame Zero was on an outlap there. Kustov following him. Kustov is on a flyer. Kustov was going to make the decision to come in the pits, did not come in the pits, made it a bit too late, tried to correct it yet again, and has ended up costing himself an end plate. He is just not going to be able to set a lap now, as we do see Deviant. Where can Deviant put it? Deviant's invalidated. Another driver invalidated their lap time. That's probably coming through swimming pool, as the Racing Point there of Rhythm beats his teammate by about a 10th there, setting a 0.2. And the next car was a Williams there. Sorry, I missed that. Liar Racing ended up putting his car into P5 on the red striped mediums. Yep. Mediums are now red, guys. Don't ask. Definitely red. Jocelyn is just starting a lap there as Jaffa now on his out lap. Last week's, I believe, pole sitter and race winner. Or race winner on circuit. Penalties applied after the race mean he did end up picking P3 instead of P1. But we also have... So we'll hop on board with Dame Zero, see what he can... Dame Zero 11-2 puts himself into P4 sector from there. Very well, very nicely done from him. The Red Bull there of Deviant finally puts a lap in. That is a 12.7. He may be looking to improve on that, but we'll see what other drivers can do. There is Jocelyn finishing his lap. Not Jocelyn, it was Rhythm, and I missed it, for God's sake. Rhythm putting an 11.2 in there. Jocelyn looks to be the next car to come across the line. 4/10 up on his time. That will put him in a very nice position. Where can he put it? He goes fast as well with a 10.7 on the medium. So a lot of these drivers looking to start on the mediums, which will actually be hampered if they do. Dame Zero parking his car up there to get off the racing line. Jaffa finishes his lap at 10.4. There you go, Jocelyn. Your lap time got beaten very, very quickly. I'm sorry about that. Jaffa doing very well there, as I believe the Mercedes pairing. One's just started into the pits. I believe that is of NRC Arnson, and Skeefy's on his out lap. So a lot of these drivers on the mediums may be trying a different strategy to the drivers that are on the softs, but that if they're on the mediums, they can actually be pushing for the wet weather at the end of the race. Hope it comes down heavy enough for them just to quickly chuck on a pair of inters, maybe even wets at the end, just to race to the end, as I believe Rhythm is coming into the pits. Rhythm's coming into the pits, yeah. And that's followed by Fragstar. Fragstar, the debutant driver today, coming through. No damage to his end plate, so he's going to stay out and finish his lap. Frag opening up his rear wing. We'll see what he can do with his lap time now, coming into Sander Vought. Keeps it nicely turned in, no invalidations, no hitting the wall, very nicely done as he now comes up the hill. We'll see what he can do. Coming into the casino section of the circuit, through the sweeping left-hander and then into a braking zone onto the right. Very nicely done as this Haas ahead of him is going to have to get out of the way, and he is going to be hoping that it does as he now comes into the hairpin. Catching up to this Haas massively. This Haas needs to get out of the way unless it's on a lap. No, it is Bjorklund who is not on a flight at the minute. Bjorklund probably going to keep to the inside of this corner, as yes he does. There you go, as Frag did come down the hill through the double right-hander there. No invalidations, no wing damage, very nicely done from him there. Coming through, Skeefy goes quickest of all. I'm sorry Skeefy, I ended up missing your lap. As Jocelyn is annoyed now at Jaffa for taking his fastest lap. Now you can be annoyed at Skeefy for beating both of you. Frag now coming through swimming pool, keeping it very nicely. No damage to the front wing. Could have taken that corner a little bit more aggressively to get some more time into his lap, but he did not. What can he do as he now floors it, coming through his right hand there as he get a flag there. That is caused by Bjorklund, probably just stepping back a bit, hoping that he doesn't want to catch Frag up on his quick lap. Frag comes across the line, but it's current to P8 on this medium compound tyres. Remember, it's the top 10 that go through here, so at the minute, Christoph, Storm, Apex, Roland and Bjorklund aren't progressing, but some of these drivers haven't set laps, as you see a lot of drivers actually now coming out. ERN Storm goes fastest of all that. A 5/10 improvement on the ERN Skeefy there. Both the ERN drivers with big improvements on their lap times. So it's Storm beating Skeefy at the moment. Sorry about that. Skeefy is going to be coming into the pits now, so there's a yellow flag. I don't know if that's cars getting out of the way. That is Frag just getting out of the way. Okay, so first one of the second set of drivers is going to be Rhythm. Rhythm not believing he is safe at the minute, comes out on 2-lap old medium and compound tyres. We'll see what he can end up doing. As he pulls over to the side of the road, Frag's... Oh no, Bjorklund is on a flyer, isn't he? So those drivers actually get out of the way for Bjorklund, who is on a flyer. Bjorklund coming through the swimming pool chicane. No validations, purple model sector from there on these mediums, which is very tidy if he has actually set a purple model sector on these medium and compound tyres. Braking there, hopefully not hitting the wall. He does not. Coming now through down to this right hander, as he has to actually correct a little bit of oversteer there. Now he's heading straight down. He ends up putting an 11.4 in, so that moves him up into P9. Fragstar down to P10 in the danger zone, whereas Liar Racing Deviant, Kustov, Apex and Roland are the cars that are currently in the knockout zone. Remember that the top 10 here will keep the tyres they use. So currently in the top 10 there are 4 drivers on the softs who will start on the softs, the rest will start on the medium and compound tyres. But Kustov now coming down the tunnel, we'll end up seeing what he can do. Heavy braking into the chicane, no damage or invalidations there from me, that very nicely done. So I know drivers do like to pick up damage spin, as I have done there multiple times through just clipping the wall. Apparently set in the purple middle sector as he has actually hit the wall and retired. Ooh, that was a very quick end to his session as he's just hit the wall a little bit too hard. As Rhythm, you have to pull out a little bit, yep, as there is the carcass there of Kustov's time, so we will be losing Kustov sadly. Just a little mistake there from Kustov has ended up costing him his qualifying and his chance to make it into the top 10 though, but Rhythm now not being held up as much as he could have by Kustov ends up putting his car onto P2 there, or provisional P2 as they will have to do another qualifying session. Bjorklund there I believe has come into the pitch yet as he hasn't validated his last lap. I believe NRC Arntzen is actually on a flyer as he hasn't validated it. So Arntzen will be starting his lap now. We'll see what he can end up doing. So I've just been asked if ghosting is on. I believe it is. I don't know if you're watching. If you are, could you just double check that? Or Jaffa, both of you should know if ghosting is on or off. But, sorry, through me looking down to have to answer someone's question, Apex is starting his flyer. A little bit of a drift out that corner. Hopefully nothing too big, as Jaffa, you are starting to pitch, yeah. So if you could just answer if ghosting is on or off, that'd be quite nice. Rhythm coming into the pits there as well, meaning that Arntzen is the currently only car on a flyer. We'll see what he can end up doing. Arntzen now opens his rear wing, coming down the straight. We'll see what he can end up doing. Arntzen improvement by 7/10 puts him onto the second row of the grid. There you go. Arntzen on the softs, a big improvement from there as the softs do look to be coming to life now for these drivers. As Lyre Racing now coming through the first of the 2 right-handers. We'll see what you can end up doing. Onto the second right-hander, opens his rear wing a bit late there. That could actually cost him big time. He's going to have less straight line speed, improved by 7.9 tenths there. Puts himself up into P8, but now other drivers are coming out. A lot of them seeming to be on the softer compound tyres. We'll see what our ARL Apex can end up putting his car. Opens his rear wing, does a 9.5 is his first lap. That has pushed Dame Zero down into the danger zone, frag into the relegation zone, same as Bjorklund. Bjorklund will need to come out soon if he wants to even think about progressing through it. I would also say the likes of Jaffa, Jocelyn, Shatil and Lyre may also need to be out. Lyre is actually out on a flyer currently. But Dame Zero, Fragstar both on, okay, they're both on fast laps. They're both on out laps as Lyre Racing is the first driver on his flyer. As he's coming through, he looks to be getting a little bit of slipstream here from the Renault. This is the Renault of Apex. No, it's not Apex. It's the Renault of Roland who is on an out lap. As Lyre Racing has actually eased out of his quick lap, as apparently Dame Zero has just set a purple sector 1. If he has, that is a big improvement on his time, which is currently sitting right on the teeter edge of dropping into the relegation area. ARL Apex coming through the final corners is going to dart into the pits, isn't he? Yes, he is. His teammate there of Roland starts his flyer, followed by Lyre Racing, who is starting their final flyer as well. Same as ERN Skifi, who's about to set his final flyer, switching onto the softer compound tyres. These drivers put laps in on the mediums. Hopefully they believe that lap times are safe, but they want to double check and not risk it. Dame Zero improving by 6/10 here. That is big for him, as that will actually progress him up into P8. You want to improve even more as he comes through, opens his rear wing. We'll see where he can end up putting his car. Opens his rear wing, comes across the line, puts his car into P4. A very nice tidy lap from there, 9/10 improvement. We'll see where his teammate off Fragstar can put his car on his debut. He improvements by 3/10, but that's not to lift him out of the relegation zone. He may be doing 2 back-to-back flyers, but he is going to have to improve. Bjorklund end up starting his final lap now as well. Same as the likes of NRC Arnson retiring at the pits. Okay. Jocelyn starting his final flyer as well. The Renault of Roland now coming into Sector 3. He does not have a lap time to base it off of, so we'll be seeing what he can do as he does not invalidate coming through Simple. Very nicely done from him there, coming into the first of the 2 right-handers. Keeps it very nicely turned in. It does not hit the wall on the outside, which other drivers have done before. Opens up his DRS, no contact on the walls this lap, no invalidations. Where can he put his car? Puts it up into P9, therefore relegating Liar Racing, who is coming into the pit, into the relegation zone. Deviant also in the relegation zone, so now it's Bjorklund and Fragstar. Can they escape relegation? Aaron Skiffy eases out of his time, so he does not have to start on the softer compound tyres. We'll see what Frag and Bjorklund can do. Frag is ahead of Bjorklund. At the minute, this is putting Roland and Chatil into the danger zone. We'll see what they can do. Frag now coming to the first of the 2 right-handers. I cannot remember corner names to save my life on the circuit. Frag comes into the pits. Frag looks to be wanting to keep his P12, as we do see a massive lock up there from Bjorklund. Where can Bjorklund put it? Bjorklund now gets a bit squirrely coming out that final corner, opens his rear wing, racing his way down the pitch straight. He can put his car up to P10. He relegates Chatil into the drop zone there. Massive from him. Jocelyn here, probably hoping he can beat Storm's time, progressing further up, or maybe even just coming out to make sure that he does not get removed. But he is one of the 3 drivers in the top 10 who are starting on the mediums. AMS Rhythm, AMS Jaffa and AMS Jocelyn, the 3 drivers that all set lap times quick enough to keep themselves safe on the medium compound tyres. Very nicely done from there. They will be on the alternate strategy to the likes of Aaron Storm, Apex, Arnson, Dame Zero, Skeefy, Roland and Bjorklund, but that's very nice laps from everyone here. This air will now just give us confirmation of who has dropped out and who has stayed in. So there you go, very nice laps from everyone. You get the confirmation of the 5 drivers that have ended up dropping out of qualifying. Chatil tried to make it through on the medium, so did Deviant. They could not progress through on the medium compound tyres, but they will be able to start on the mediums. Liar Racing, Fragstar and Christoph. Fragstar on his debut has dropped out and will start in P13. Very good laps from everyone there though. First car to come out is one of the... You Racing Point boys love to be first out, don't you? You just love the fresh air there of Jocelyn. I'm sorry about that. I didn't mean to yawn, but Jocelyn first car out. We'll see what he can end up doing, as he is first car out and he is followed by Apex. And as the cars now slowly trickle out of the pits, these last 10 that are left standing, we'll end up seeing what they do. I think they should change qualifying in Monaco to a race. Last car to DNF starts pole. Anyone think that's a good idea? Like, you remove everyone's front wing and choose the first car to DNF, they start 20th. Like, I know it would already be set in stone that Mazepin starts 20th, but... could end up seeing. So, leading the way, yeah, Jocelyn will be the first car to start. Jaff, you don't have to have a go at me, there you go. You happy? Jocelyn here coming to the final two right-handers, now puts his foot down to start his flyer. We'll see what he can end up doing. Yellow flags, that is caused by cars just backing up, no need to worry, as I don't believe any car is in the wall. Red Bull there, I believe, of Jaffa, staying quite nicely out of the way. It is Jaffa, he is the only Red Bull left in the session. And there is already an end plate off Jocelyn's car. Congratulations, Jocelyn. It took you all bar half a turn to remove an end plate and invalidate your lap time. Impressive. So, the first car on a proper flyer is going to be ARL Apex. There you go. So we'll with Apex. He'll be the first car to set his flyer. He is closely followed there by Jaffa, but Jaffa is on an outlap. Ooh, big lock-up from there coming out of the tunnel and down the hill. Racing point there of Jocelyn stays nicely at the way. Jocelyn is going to have to actually come into the pits at the end of this lap to change his front wing, as that end plate damage is going to massively cost him. We see... I don't know if Apex at the wall there, but he very nicely turned in for both of those corners, both those little chicanes. Now opens his DRS coming down the only DRS straight on the circuit. Really wish there were two, but just can't. A 9.6. Apex gets us underway. Provisional pole is a 9.6. What can ERN Storm do about this? ERN Storm going down the straight. Storm puts a 10 flat in. He cannot beat that time. Next car to cross the line was Arnson there with a 10.4. Cannot beat the time either. Next one will be Bjorklund. Can Bjorklund beat that time set by Apex? Bjorklund coming down the straight now. A 9.9. Cannot beat the time either. This is actually... This could be who can beat the time before anyone actually having a competitive lap time, as Bjorklund's the only other car into the 1.9s. Roland ended up is going to finish his lap. Where can he put it? 11.3 there from Roland. We will want to improve on that time. Aaron Skeefy is just on a outlap. Rhythm here on a flyer. He didn't sound to be on one, but he apparently is. Don't know if that is just him easing, but no, he's using ERS, so he's on a flyer. Going through the final few corners, opens his DRS. Where can he end up putting his car? Puts it up into P4. A very nice and tidy lap time from him there. Aaron Skeefy, AMS Jaffa. Jaffa with the first car, okay. Jaffa, the title, the championship leader at the minute. Where can he end up putting the car? Jaffa coming down the straight. Jaffa puts a P2 with a 9.7. So like I said, it looks to be at the minute who can beat the lap time. Arnson coming into the pits. That is probably going to be followed by Bjorklund, who is the next car. We'll see if Bjorklund comes into the pits here, as he is much slower on this lap. So yeah, Bjorklund comes into the pits as well. And he wanted to set one lap on those softer compound tyres. Just realised Arnson set one lap on the mediums. He only used one lap of Softsworth in Q2. So in theory he could just go out again right now and he'd be fine. Aaron Skeefy, where can he put his car? Into P5 at the minute with a 10.1. Skeefy, who seems to be the only driver that had pace to end up challenging AMS Jaffa, is quite a ways off his pace now, so we'll see if he can improve on that, as we don't shift the racing points. One of Rhythm ending up starting a second flyer, and Jocelyn also. Dame Zero, Jocelyn, neither have set a lap yet. Dame Zero still staying in the pits. Might just feel comfortable in the pits. Jaffa pitting. Skeefy's slower by a second, meaning that is going to be a pit lap. What about Rhythm? Rhythm's slower through the first sector by 6 seconds. That's a pit lap as well. It's an invalidation. That's hampered him as well. Jocelyn, where can he put it? Purple sector 1 and 2 massive lockups here for the Racing Point driver. A very nice black, pink and white helmet, which actually fits the car nicely. Probably actually thought about fitting his car there, as he is going to be getting slipstream from his teammate. Coming through the tunnel. His teammate now is going to have to get out of the way. Gets out of the way nicely. Jocelyn, you better not invalidate this now. If you invalidate it, he's going to be fuming with you. Purple second sector, there you go. Big improvement from him again. Where can he end up putting the car? He now opens his rear wing very late. That is going to hamper him quite a bit. But he comes across the line, puts his car into P3. Very nice lap. Very tidily done there from him as well. Dame's only other car on a lap is Arnson on that lap. Come on, Arnson, you get the whole screen to yourself. What can you do? That does not mean you have the right to end up smashing into a wall, okay? Arnson here as we get another view of his rear wing. Game loving this week. Ends up coming into Sandoval very nicely, cutting the corner just how you need it to be cut. No validation from him there as he is coming up the hill. He's going to turn it into the left-hander. And now switches back on itself, opening up to the right-hander. No validation, very nicely done, coming through Casino, purple sector 1. Now, right hand into a downhill left-hander of the hairpin. Acceleration slowly onto the brake for a right-hander. And another right-hander. This street circuit is so tight and narrow that these drivers have to be consistently aware of where they're placing their car. Arnson here ending his flying lap. We'll see what he can end up doing. So he comes to the first of the two right-handers. Into the second one, there are now only 3 minutes 50 seconds left of this session. Down through the DRS straight and across the line. Arnson puts his car up into P3, a very nicely tidy lap from him there. No one beating Apex's lap time yet. And Apex apparently set a purple sector 1. No invalidation from him there coming through swimming pool. What can he end up doing at the end of this lap? Opens his rear wing. Where can he put his car? And is this an improvement on his lap? It is. He improves by 3/10, extending his lead out front. Arnson on a in lap here. We see Aaron Storm here coming through the hairpin on an outlap as well. Storm and Bjorklund both on outlaps, the same as Dame Zero, who's finally set out on an outlap in that nicely red painted Ferrari. Now starting his fly, we'll see what he can end up doing. Dame Zero, Santa Purple Sector 1 reportedly. We'll see what he can end up doing through the rest of this lap. There is a yellow flag that is due to cars just pulling out the way of each other. Now coming down the hill through the first of the two right-handers. Into the second one. As Greeners has joined. I don't know who that is, to be fair, as he's left the session as well. Now he is coming into a left-hander. Into a right. No validation from him there. Now coming through a sweeping left. And another sweeping left into a right. And he fully cuts the corner. He is going to be kicking himself with cutting that chicane. Is he going to pit as he does almost do a full 360? He's giving himself major wing damage as well. I have missed that wing damage there. I am sorry. That looks to be Dame Zero's qualifying over as he will start down there in P10 unless any cars ahead of him do end up getting penalties. We see Jocelyn slowing up before starting his flying lap, so we'll see what he can do on his flying run. The likes of Roland are on a flyer, Rhythm are on a flyer, Skeefy and Storm. Storm will be the first of these drivers to finish his laps. We'll see where Storm can put his car. Storm now coming through the final few corners. Opens his rear wing. Puts his car P2. Very close to the back of Apex, but no one is beating Apex at the moment in time. Jocelyn jumps up positions, but cannot beat anyone. Arnson also jumps up a couple of positions. Arnson's been in the pits. Arnson did not catch up any positions as Rhythm has retired. Rhythm retiring on circuit, maybe, I don't know. We do actually have Roland who retired in the pits. We'll see what Storm and Jaffa can do. Can they beat this newcomer's lap time who these guys have not raced with before, I don't think. Bjorklund there puts his car into P6 ahead of Rhythm. Very nicely done from him there. Skeefy comes into the pits as well. Skeefy not going to improve. Jocelyn here is not going to improve either as he hasn't validated his lap. Storm not going to improve. Jaffa is the only driver who can challenge here. Jaffa's improving by 2 tenths. Needs to be doubled. He needs to improve by a minimum of 4 tenths to even think about taking pole. Jaffa comes across the line. Improvement by 4.5 tenths. There you go. Jaffa takes pole. A big improvement from him there. So it looks to be Jaffa followed by Apex, Storm, Arnson, Jocelyn, Bjorklund. Bjorklund, Rhythm, Skeefy, Roland, then Dame Zero. Dame Zero finally making its way into Q3. Very happy. He'll be very happy with that, but that validation will cost him. There you go. That's confirmation of the top 10. Remember, 3 of these drivers, all 3 AMS drivers here, to make it easier, are starting on the medium and compound tyres. So they're not all at the front, they're not all at the back, so that is going to be weird. So yes, Jaffa, you can boast about it. You got pole. Big whoopee doo. So there we go. Look at it is overcast here, so that is going to be a little bit of a English, please. English is failing on me again, guys. This is going to annoy some people as ARO Apex has left this session. I'll try and get him back in. Arnson, I am going to quickly go downstairs and grab something, so you guys can start your formation lap if you want. Your choice. I will just invite Apex wherever he is. There he is. Yeah, Arnson, your choice. I'm just going to quickly go grab something. Sorry about that, I am back. It's just still sat there waiting. I think... Wait. No. I think... Oh, my stream's gone down. Fun. My own POV of the stream has ended up dying on me. That's amazing. There we go. As not Jaffa. I was about to say Jaffa. Why did I think I was going to say Jaffa? Apex's Xbox has decided to just blow up on itself, it seems like. So he will not be rejoining, sadly. Rest in peace to Apex's Xbox. Sad to see him go as he was P2 on the grid. I don't know if his car will still be there. If it is, that could be an issue. And it is, as we do actually see Jaffa just spinning his wheels. So in theory now, Storm is starting P2. But it is... I want to put tyres on, there we go. Apex's car's just stopped itself. So I was confused everyone, but you see everyone else starting on the medium compound tyre who are not in the top 10 as they come up with a preferred strategy that is a medium hard round here. The strategy does fully rely on there being no safety cars and no wet weather. Knowing Monaco, there's going to be a lot of incidences. So it'll be fun to see who crashes out first. It is mean, but anyone who's not racing is in the chat. Place your bets on who you think is going to DNF first. And we'll keep a track of who DNFs and when they DNF. Sorry about that. I thought it just wanted to kill itself. There we go. As Deviant spun it. Deviant, I don't know how you have managed to spin it on a formation lap. Congrats, and I think in doing so you've caused Breezy and Nigerator to have a clip. There we go. I should be back now. My throat should have actually uncoughed itself there. But I am going to try and get a good view for the starts. I know Monaco starts can be hectic as all hell. 2 red lights, 3 red lights, 4 red lights, 5 red lights. And away we go. It looks to be a very good start from Jaffa, but it looks to be an even better start there from ERN Storm. A bit further back, ERN Storm looking to go on the outside, but cannot make that move stick. As we do know, Apex is ghosted. He will drop down the order very quickly. I see no collisions to far back as the eye can see. At the minute is staying. Apex is leading the race, so I cannot be sure who's where, but it looks like Arnson there. He's made his way up into P3. Very nicely done from there. There's every driver seems to be now overtaking. There goes the cars. I believe Dame Zero has had an incident there as he has been hit up the rear as well then by Lyre Racing. I think that is Rhythm there who has been spun round. Rhythm with a damaged end plate as well. He's going to be annoyed that has happened. It's only a yellow flag, no safety car. No drivers have retired yet. It's a big improvement. Let's go. So Jaffa leads from Storm, followed by Arnson, and Bjorklund, who has massively made up positions there. Followed by Jocelyn, Skiffy, Roland, Dame Zero, Liar Racing, Apex is dropping down. Frag, Breezy. There's Breezy. Oh, went for a believe a ballsy overtake down and hit his rear wheel that has ended up spinning him round. Then we have Gustav. I'm trying to see if there's any overtakes that could be happening in Storm pits. Iran Storm pits on lap 1. Jaffa ends up sitting on the fastest lap. This is due to other drivers pitting. What has happened with Storm? They're giving Storm a new nose. So Storm has ended up getting wing damage. It means Jaffa's put out a 3-second gap to Arnson. Bjorklund trying to stay on the back of him there. Storm chucking the hard compound tyres on. He's going to be looking to go to the end on them now. But Jaffa, on those mediums, is leading. But the two soft runners have managed to put themselves into P3 and 4. Storm sitting now down there in last place. We'll probably get past Apex very quickly, as Apex is still ghosted. I'm trying to see if there's any moves. It's very hard to actually overtake around here. Fragstar putting himself up into the points paying positions there. Very nicely done from him. But Jaffa out in front on those mediums has just gone. He is on a lower fuel mode than every other driver, I believe, and he's just gone. No driver's been able to sit with him as Skeefy get a bit squirrely out of that last corner. My throat's still just not wanting to settle down. Sorry about this. Jaffa's setting fastest lap yet again. I'm not surprised as Gustav has crashed. Gustav has crashed at the end of swimming pool. I'm gonna see, lost his front left. Gustav has crashed where he ended up crashing in qualifying. He's crashed where he ended up crashing in qualifying. This is going to mean that... Sorry, give me a second. Jaffa pits. Jaffa pits on lap 3 of the race. Ugh. My throat is killing me now. It's not settling down. I honestly have no clue what it's doing. Oh, 1 second again. Sorry. I'm sorry, you guys may have to deal with me coughing. I don't know what's irritating my throat. But I'll try and keep the coughing to a minimum or mute my mic when I am coughing. But Jaffa pitting is put down into P8, meaning some of these drivers have actually caught up a load of positions, which is very nicely done from them there. Do I actually see Rhythm overtaking Apex? Apex is still, yeah. So Arnson inherits the lead then on lap 3. Followed by Bjorklund, Jocelyn, Skeefy, Dame Zero, Fragstar, Breezy, Jaffa, Roland, Deviant, Lewis, Nigelator, Iran Storm, who had to pit due to wing damage, Liar Racing, Chatil, Rhythm, and then the ghosted car of Apex. Safety car out for another lap now. This is because the field is still a bit too bunched out for it to actually come in, so have to stay out for another lap. Arnson's still leading the pack away, but I know how hard it is to keep your tyres hot going around Monaco. These tyres just fall apart so quickly, and they deteriorate very quickly, and they also can't keep their heat in them while on these formations. It really hampers the driver's ability, mainly these medium runners, but we do have, in the top 5, we have 4 soft runners, which is very confusing. We have the soft runner Dame Zero starting P10 now up into P5. Very big improvement from him there. As Christoph is apologising to other drivers and saying it wasn't his night. Christoph, you don't need to worry about that if you are listening again. This circuit is just a pain to drive. Any driver can tell you that. It's just one mistake, you're in a barrier, you've retired. Nothing you can do, but I believe safety car will be in this lap as we come through to sector 3. Safety car in this lap, there you go, confirmation. Arnson turns into the lead car as now these drivers are not going to be wanting to hit each other. All of them are weaving as much as they can, apart from Breezy. Breezy was doing a Kimi Raikkonen then and not weaving. Now he has started to weave. Arnson is going to choose when he wants to go, and Bjorklund is going to want to stay as close as he can to the rear end of that Mercedes to make any move he can work. So for the final corner, Arnson goes. He floors it, brakes to go through the corner as he loses his rear end a bit. This could actually let Bjorklund, if he gets some slipstream here, which he doesn't look like he's got enough of, he's not close enough to even make a move, think about making a move into stand of what. As he now comes up the hill, I don't know if that was Arnson's end plate, then it's just fallen off the car, it is not. But an end plate of some driver has fallen off as Aaron Storm gets his way past his teammate of Nigelator. Nigelator get very close to the back of that AlphaTauri. Does not hit it. As there's massive gaps forming up. Roland not ready for them going as Jaffa hitting the back of Breezy there, damaging his end plate. Yes, switched onto the harder compound tyres. Damaged end plate though is going to cost him massively coming through these corners. But Arnson seeming to have just... Arnson, a very good restart from him there, so I was trying to think of what word to say as I couldn't, but Jaffa, that damage to Jaffa's car is going to hamper him so much. But you see further back there are cars all over each other, but the field's just separated so quickly. Is Jaffa going to pit those? Jaffa's picked up a 3-second time penalty for infringements to the track. This is going to be either corner cutting, collisions with walls, collisions with other drivers, or extension of track limits. Extension of track limits is not at this circuit due to it being a street circuit, and there really being no way you can extend. Chatil has ended up getting past Nigelator. Nigelator I think might have actually spun there, or has caused some damage to his front wing as he's missing a chunk of his front wing. Jaffa pits. Jaffa's second stop already of the race is going to be for another wing change, and he is going to chuck another set of harder compound tyres on. New nose cone on that Red Bull now, as he is going to hopefully get away best he can. Nigelator also pits, there's going to be another change of front wing. So these front three seem to have checked their way, they've just gone from the back of Skeefy there. Skeefy not being able to catch up as much as he wants to, but Breezy's still sitting on the back of Fragstar and Dame Zero, both the Ferrari drivers doing very well. Being the only other team that is not Racing Point to be in, as there is a yellow flag and there's a virtual safety car. Whoa, Breezy has caused this virtual safety car, I can tell, with no front wing on that Haas car as he drifts and hits the wall. This is probably going to mean Deviant can overtake him eventually, but Deviant is actually extending his, or what he is allowed to be speed-wise. So this virtual safety car, if they can get this restart correct, they're going to close the gaps up to every car in front of them. If they cannot, it is going to hamper them. But no front wing on Breezy's car there as he hits another wall. Safety car restart seems to be that Arnson got the better of Bjorklund there. Arnson checking out at the front again. Bjorklund doesn't seem to be anywhere near him, but the drivers further behind seem to have actually had a better restart. Roland now in a area of his own. No cars ahead, no cars behind him. Breezy retires in the pits. It's not nice to see cars retire in the pits, but Breezy seems to have just not wanted to carry on after that massive wing damage. Skeefy's still not able to catch up to the back of Jocelyn and Bjorklund. Jocelyn though getting very close to the back of Bjorklund, and Jocelyn's on a different strategy to him. So this could actually be a battle between Arnson and Jocelyn for the win, unless Jaffa can somehow sneak his nose in and maybe even another driver. Jaffa being last week's race winner and the week before that minute. You get the idea. Jaffa wins a lot. Chatil also pits there, down in 14th. I believe that is for just a new set of tyres. 2-lap old medium compound tyres. They are laps he has used in qualifying then. Arnson still leading from Bjorklund, Jocelyn, Skiffy, Daimzer and Frag. Both these Ferrari drivers, P10 and P13, now P5 and 6, doing very well. Ferrari in real life will be hoping that they can do something like this in the race, get some actual good points scored for them. They seem to be the only two drivers that are feeling very comfortable and happy with where they are now. I'm actually going to check. There are no penalties I can do. Position changes. So everyone in the top 5. So we've got Alex up 3, Bjorklund up 4, Jocelyn up 2, Fragster up 7, Lewis up 8 as well. These drivers all improving on their laps here. The drivers at the back, though, are the ones who have lost massive amounts of places down there. That is the reason why there are so many cars that seem to be out of position from where they were in qualifying. We are going to go back onto tyres so you guys have them nice. So that as Jocelyn makes a move on Bjorklund. That's massive. The fact that he's been able to make a move on a car which should be on the better compound tyres for this circuit is big. As they now come down the tunnel. We'll see what they can end up doing as they are using ERS. Bjorklund just hoping he could get back to the Jocelyn, not being close enough to make a move, but he's very close to the back of Jocelyn there. Coming down, as I've just realised the two front runners have one at the end of their name. Congratulations. Dame Zeros and Fragstar both still close to the back of Skiffy there. Same as Roland there on the harder compound tyres and Aaron Storm. Aaron Storm, who had to pit lap 1, is now up into P8. He looks to be hungry and is just gobbling up all of these positions. I am very sorry, that was absolutely atrocious. Arnson getting a bit squirrely coming out of that corner. You're not coming out. You're not that side, are you, Teddy? We can remind me about that later on. Arnson still leading his way. Jocelyn still trying to catch him, but Jocelyn has pulled a gap to Bjorklund. Bjorklund may just be a bit slower than these drivers as Dame Zero all out of shape as he actually has got past Skiffy, but Dame Zero just getting all really out of shape there. Fragstar probably going to go around the outside of him now as those two do bang wheels. Dame Zero trying to go around the outside, ends up hitting Fragstar. That little error from Dame Zero has ended up costing him, but Frag has ended up removing an end plate further ahead. Bjorklund picking up a 3-second time penalty there. Chatel setting the fastest laps of these drivers all over the place as Fragstar with that damaged front wing will actually hold Dame Zero up coming through Sector 3, which is a much more technical area than Sector 1. So, I actually don't know, Sector 1 or Sector 3 do you need an end plate more? I honestly don't know, but Dame Zero now, that incident has cost him massive amounts of time. To Skiffy up ahead, he was able to overtake it, but just not keep that car settled. Skiffy though catches just the back of Bjorklund. Bjorklund, I don't know if Bjorklund's had an incident. Yes, he has. He's hit a wall and he has got wing damage. Skiffy has now pushed himself up to P3. Dame Zero also has to pit. Ooh, as Frag stays out. Dame Zero is pitting off of his... So some of these... they're not pitting because of wing damage, they're pitting because their tyres have fallen off. That's why they're pitting this. We see Skiffy go onto the hards, hoping to go to the end. We also see Dame Zero chuck on the mediums. Maybe he's hoping to go to the end on them. Bjorklund also chucking on the mediums, so it looks like some drivers are going to just take the mediums, hope for another safety car. Whereas some aren't. Jaffa, who was leading the race, is behind Skiffy. So that means Arnson has got a massive gap as Jocelyn still catching up to the back of Arnson. Here we'll see what they can do. The double pit stop from Jaffa isn't helping him as Jocelyn getting so close to the back of Arnson here. Arnson though just saving his ERS, whereas Jocelyn is burning it to try and keep up. Same as Roland here, just burning through his ERS. These drivers don't need to burn through the ERS to stay close to the car ahead of them. They've got to realise that. But will we see Arnson pit at the end of this lap? We get a very nice helicopter shot of the Monaco harbour here. Arnson pits. Jocelyn now inherits the lead off of Arnson. And he gets DRS, which is going to help him out big time as well. Arnson now chucking on the medium compound tyres. Arnson going to hope to go to the end on these mediums. There are only 17 laps left. He's got a change of wing, I believe. Arnson changes his wing in the pits. That is going to slow him up massively. And that is probably going to mean that his teammate of Skiffy inherits the provisional lead of the race. That would be the correct words. We're going to see where they come out as Lion Racing gets ahead. So does Skiffy, but Arnson gets the much better line as he is able to floor it. Arnson gets passed by Skiffy and passed by Jaffa though. That is big, as both those drivers have managed to get past due to the wing chase, but Dame Zero right latches right onto the back of this fight as well. This is, in theory, the top 4 of the race, as the front runners haven't pitted yet ahead of them. Well, actually, Liar Racing has. Liar Racing could go to the end of the race here. But Skeefy's right up the back of Liar. So, yep, all these drivers are currently fighting, in theory, for the lead of the race. We'll stay on board with them a bit, as there aren't really any battles going on up ahead. The main chunk of drivers seems to be here as Nigel to pick the 3-second time penalty. Deviant. Deviant's got his car sideways. I don't know how, but Deviant has managed to spin his car there. Bjorklund also has latched onto the back of this fight. It seems to be all those front runners that have pitted have just managed to get in this one gaggle of cars, and they're going to try and sort them out as best they can, but what can they do? Jaffa. Jaffa has had an incident. Jaffa has damaged his front wing again. Jaffa deciding if he was to pit or not. Jaffa decides to go to the pit. More wing damage there for the Red Bull driver, having to change again. Dame Zero also wing damage. It looks like there was a little bit of a kerfuffle between these drivers. Deviant having to pit. Jaffa's getting held up, and that is actually holding up Dame Zero as well. Dame isn't able to leave his pit box as quickly as he would have liked. Arnson also having to pit. I don't know if these drivers all just hit each other up the rear or what. But this has actually meant that Skeefy now inherits provisional lead, unless Ian Storm up here and Roland can look after those harder compound tyres up until the end, but they do not want to fight each other if they want to try and look after these tyres. Oh, it's going to be a busy day with clip submissions, isn't it? So at the minute we have Jocelyn, who is leading Fragstar, these two yet to pit. But Roland behind them has pitted. Will he be able to look after those hards till the end of the race, as we did lose? Where did Roland start? Let's have a look at that. Where did Roland start? Let's type it. Yeah, okay, I thought there was a weird typo there. So that's every driver that has pitted so far. Some of them making 2 stops, some of them making 1. Okay, Fragstar's at the most positions. Roland started P9, okay. Back onto tyres. Bjorklund setting fastest lap there as Chatil ends up pitting as well. I believe this will be for a wing change. So we still have, we did just have Chateau pit there, sorry if I went quiet, but Bjorklund gets past Liar Racing in the tunnel. Has Liar Racing damaged his wing in the tunnel or had a little bit of a drift? I do not know, but Bjorklund is ahead. Very well done from Bjorklund there. We've still got Deviant here who's had to pit yet again. Arnson's had to pit, and Dame Zero all over the back of Arnson here. Dame Zero one who's just probably try and use the slipstream from the Merc driver who was using ERS there to actually try to stay ahead of him, because they know how much slipstream can help. As Lewis has lagged out the session, I believe that is why Ian Storm has managed to get past him as well. Jocelyn here though, just still going strong on those tyres. Very well done from him there, if he can end up taking these a very long way. I'm probably hoping for a safety car actually to chuck on the set of hards, or maybe even softs, maybe trying a medium soft. It's the beauty of F1, you never know. In the virtual F1, right up until the death. Yet again, Dame Zero right up close to the back of Arnson, just not quick enough to get past him just yet, but he's giving him a run for his money. Don't lie about that. We do also have Jaffa catching Chatil with Nigelator behind him. Nigelator pitting for another new front wing. Nigelator doing well here, sat in P15, a big improvement from where he actually qualified, hoping that he can just get as far up the field as he can. Maybe hoping for another safety car as he has shut the medium compound tyres on. Jaffa, those shut the softs on. Jaffa, those softs aren't going to be able to run to the end. You realise that, right? You're going to have to hope for another safety car though. Rhythm has ended up getting past the ghosted car of Lewis. Lewis's car currently has no one driving it. So we still have Jocelyn leading from Frag, Roland still sat in P3, Storm hunting down the Renault driver. As Dame Zero's managed to get his way past Arnson there, probably getting frustrated sitting behind Arnson for so long. I don't know if there's any contact between the two there. As we will see Arnson's front wing, there was no damage to Arnson's front wing and no damage to Dame's front wing. Looks to be a clean overtake, maybe a bit of wheel-to-wheel banging. But we'll end up seeing if anything does get submitted in the clips. Now, Dame Zero is free to hunt down Deviant as quickly as he can. Yorkland Skeefy still in theory the lead to her half pitted. Very nice camera of them coming through the swimming pool chicanes. As they are now going to turn into the first of the two right-handers now. 1 and 2. Really wish we stayed on the helicopter for the whole lap. It'd be amazing if we could. But these two, as there is a yellow flag in sector 2, that is the Red Bull of Deviant yet again has had an incident, same position, massive damage to his front wing. No virtual safety car there, as drivers did drive through his front wing, but no virtual safety car. We are in Storm yet again close to Roland. Roland though catching up to Fragstar. Are these medium tyres starting to drop off? Now that is a big question. It's NRC Arnson does pit. And there seems to be contact between him and Dame. I don't know how much damage there is to the front wing of Arnson there, but that was another pit stop for him. Deviant also having to pit B7, a 5-second time penalty in the pits as well. I honestly can't tell you who's where, provisionally, or in theory, because you could say Skeefy's doing very well, P7. Trying to get past the ghosted car there, as there is another yellow flag. This is Liar Racing, I believe. Liar Racing who's got damage to his front wing. Oh, Liar, you've made up so many positions, you've damaged your front wing. Liar Racing probably coming into the pits now. This is going to promote Dime Zero up another position on his hunt back. After everyone suddenly having to pit, I don't know what that was about, I did not catch it on stream. And Storm though, still close to the back of Roland. The problem is it's such a hard circuit to overtake, he can't overtake him. But Jocelyn's still out here in the lead. Dame Zero there ends up getting past the pitted Williams car, pitting himself up into P9. So he will be hoping to get close to the back of his teammate there. Fragstar has ended up pulling a gap to Storm and Roland. These two still fighting it out with Rhythm, and Rhythm being the next closest car to them, slowly trying to catch up to the back of them. I don't know how much time we lose though due to safety car, but Jocelyn 8% ERS, whereas Fragstar has 95. That is a massive difference in this electronic recovery system here. Jocelyn using his overtake button, whereas it doesn't seem Fragstar is. I don't know what that is about as they all come up the hill now. Skeefy has caught up massively to the back of Rhythm there, as not Rhythm, Lewis, as Lewis is still ghosted, as no one is in theory driving his car there. Yeah, it does seem to be the AI is driving that car. Bjorkland's still catching the back of them. Dame Zero 25 seconds off the back of these two. He'll be hoping for a safety car to bunch this field up. That is, I believe, what a lot of these drivers are hoping for, including Jocelyn and Fragstar, the two lead cars, as there are 20 laps left. We've just hit halfway. Halfway before we had this amount of action. This is going to be a long night, isn't it? It's going to be a very long night. Apex has been lapped twice now. Let's go, Apex. Your AI is doing so well. Jocelyn still leads Fragstar, followed by Roland, Storm, Rhythm, Lewis, Skeefy, Yorkland, Dame Zero, Shithill, Jaffa, Liar Racing, Arnson, Deviant, Nigelita, and Apex. They are your 16 drivers left halfway through this race, as Apex is AI, just so everyone knows, and so is Lewis. Lewis has just been passed by Skeefy, and he's been passed by Bjorkland now as well. Dame Zero will now be on the hunt to try and catch up to the back of him. up ahead, we still have Storm so close to the back of Roland, just not able to make a move. He is just hoping so much that he can make a move on that Renault. He's probably getting sick of seeing the tailpipe as we actually see him go down the inside now. Makes the move. Does he make it stick? Yes, he does. There you go. Aaron Storm, who pitted 2 laps before, or lap 1 actually, I believe, has ended up putting his that AlphaTauri of his up into the podium positions after already making a pit stop. Very nicely done from him there. Jocelyn though and Frag haven't pitted, but when they pit they'll be on much fresher tyres than Aaron Storm, so we'll see what they can end up doing. Storm though running extremely low on his ERS, will probably want to be hunting some of that back throughout the next couple of laps while also keeping Roland behind him. Surprised there aren't more M plates and stuff around this circuit, as we do see Dame Zero pit again. I believe this is for another wing change. As yes, it is another wing change for the Ferrari driver. He is going to be annoyed with himself, but he shut the mediums on. He'll be wanting to go to the end of the race now. Arnson was the car he was fighting before. Arnson ended up getting wing damage as well from their little battle. It's coming round as it's getting very dark at this circuit, I've just realised. There's rain at the end, isn't there? Is that what these drivers are holding out for? We'll see if the Ferrari driver of Dame can stay ahead of Arnson. He can, but their battle has been relit. We'll see what they can end up doing. There is this little cluster of cars as there is a yellow flag. I don't know who's caused that yellow flag. I think it might have been Lewis causing that yellow flag. I'm not sure. But Bjorklund, I believe, he's just lapped him again. Okay. Safety car. There is a full course safety car. I don't... What course is this? Everyone's got their wing. Dame Zero does not have a wing. Dame Zero is the culprit of this safety car. I believe he's had an incident. Don't know what it was with or who it was with. Probably have to watch back on the stream, but Dame Zero is the culprit of the safety car. After having wing damage, this is going to mean Chatil and Jaffa both get to pit. Jaffa pits onto 3-lap of mediums, where Chatil pits and changes his wing onto a pair of softs. One thing of these drivers pitting now, when's the rain going to hit? Jocelyn as well pits for softs. We'll see what Frag does here now as well. The safety car brought out by his teammate is massively helping him, but his teammate has just come into the pits and retired. Ooh, it's just going to hold Frag up. As the pit lane is going to be one very busy place now. Frag's going to have to change his front wing as well. They weren't ready for him, the Ferrari pit crew. They weren't ready to double stack. This is massively going to hold him up as Finn stays out. Aaron Storm having to wait. Aaron Storm gets out ahead of Bjorklund. And more importantly, ahead of Frag. Frag, who had to wait in the pit lane. Very annoyed as he is now behind Skeefy as well. And the racing point of Rhythm. So his teammate retiring in the pits has dropped him down to P7. That is massively going to disappoint him and annoy him. But Jocelyn, though. Jocelyn leads, followed by Roland. That massively Jocelyn had has meant he keeps the lead, but the streets of Monte Carlo now are getting very cold and damp-like. No rain yet, but I'm not going to be surprised if we do get rain near the end of this race. It was predicted, but we'll see as it's getting very dark now out there. So we'll see when the rain starts to fall and who pits for Inters, as Lewis has... The hell are you doing, Lewis? Huh? Huh? Okay, Lewis has just done some voodoo magic. Ragstar gets past Apex. Some of these drivers on the soft start are in a much better position, as Roland, though, still not pitted, still sat right behind Jocelyn. May just be waiting for it to rain. Yeah.
So we'll see what these drivers do. And Storm now, as the Ferrari there, or Fragstar has dropped down to P7. He's going to be annoyed with that. But I believe none of the... Oh no, Storm was P3. Storm is back where he was. Every other driver has dropped down massively. Dame Zero has now left the session. Everyone's now getting past Lewis. Okay, so Lewis's AI is just bugging out. And, oh my god. What is going on here, lads? What the hell was that? Oh yeah, Lewis's AI is very slow. I forgot. Lewis's AI is massively slow. So, another lap under the safety car, let's go! As all of these drivers just waiting for that AI to catch up. Oh, they must be so frustrated being stuck behind Lewis's AI. The thing is, as soon as the race starts, they just zip past him. That's the thing. Deviant, Nigelator and Apex have all been lapped. Hopefully now though, it'll get underway as Lewis has finally caught up to the back of Fragstar. Apex still hasn't caught up to the back of the safety car queue or caught up to the lap that Dame Zero was hired on. That's massive. That shows how slow Apex's AI has been around the streets of Monaco today. Look at the lockups these cars have just caused through this circuit. Is safety car in this lap? Safety car is in this lap. Very sorry for me not actually making you guys aware of that. Safety car's in. Jocelyn's lead car. Jocelyn goes. Storm... Storm's been stuck behind Nigelator, who did not launch when everyone else did. That's gonna massively annoy Storm, as let's let these lead two cars get a 3-second lead as we see Bjorklund get all out of shape there as they race up the hill. I believe everyone's also behind Lewis's AI is going to try and get past him. So you do see Jaffa trying to go around the outside, clipping Ans's rear wheel, luckily not to cause any damage to these two drivers. It's getting very dark out there. It's getting more close to dusk at Monaco. So we do see everyone now get past Lewis's AI there. Aaron Storm though is going to have to try and catch up. Roland seems to have had an incident. I don't know what incident that has been, but it means that Jocelyn has just started at the front. I think it's those 22 lap old tyres. They are barely hanging on. Jaffa has made his way past Ants there. That is on the exit of that chicane as the lights have come on. Ants, have you set this to nighttime racing? Because this looks sick if it is. Jocelyn now with a 5.1 second lead. That lead's just going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger from these drivers. Jocelyn though still leads. Storm though getting very close to the back of Roland. We'll see what Storm does. He may go for a move around the outside of Casino because he's on much fresher medium compound tyres, but we'll see what he tries to do. Sits behind him, has to get right off the accelerator and onto the brakes there. That's going to annoy him, but he does get much better traction. Roland though going to have to let him pass as he has in theory made that move 60. There you go. Now makes his way into the hairpin as you will see every single car behind him just stacking up. Jaffa, though, still checked out ahead of Arnson. Arnson still got Chateau behind him. Lewis's AI still sat there battling. Lewis, your AI isn't really driving, is it? But this lead that Jocelyn's got, 6.7. A massive lead here from the Racing Point driver who started, I believe... this typo has almost got 3 seconds. It's hard to get typos right now. Who started P5. Massive improvement from him there. Chatil has done 4 stops. Jaffa have done 4 stops around here. Please just take that into consideration as there is a yellow flag. That is Bjorklund. No, Bjorklund having such a good race, ended up spinning it. Big wing damage there for the Hash driver who seems his car is... I don't even know. Did I just see rain? I see rain. It is raining. It is raining on the streets of Monte Carlo for these drivers. And there is 10 laps left. Now's your decision. Do you pit for Inters or do you not? Bjorklund may be the first driver to pit for the Inters. No pits for softs. He does not believe it will rain hard enough for the Inters to be the correct tyre. But now, as you can see, rain starting to fall on your screens. I'll remove that for you so you don't actually have to have that in the way anymore. This rain, though, what's it going to cause? As Apex, your AI is about to get lapped 4 times now. 4 times lap there from your AI. Big congrats to your AI there. Not driven the race you wanted, but this rain is going to cause some major shake-ups in the midfield. But you see how much Aaron Storm has checked out the back. Roland, these tyres are just holding everyone up here. But the thing is, even though they're holding everyone up, they can't get past him. Skeefy, though, might be able to now. I'm seeing as you see the wind and the rain at these streets of Monaco every which way. Skeefy just still can't get past him. All of these drivers hoping to get past Jaffa. That's not Jaffa. I believe Jaffa was ghosting them, but it's not. Skeefy still looking to make a move. Can Skeefy get the better traction off this corner? Roland just parks his car in the middle of the circuit. Skeefy can't do anything about it. Skeefy physically cannot get past this driver. And what this is doing is meaning that Jocelyn and Storm can pit for Inters. And if the Inters are quicker, they can just sit down right in front of those drivers and just go. On the much fresher tyres, this is just a snake all behind Roland. Roland, though, may have to concede the place to Skeefy. Skeefy getting much better traction coming out the tunnel. Skeefy looking to line one up down the inside, but does not commit to it. Roland, an appalling chicane that's going to bump every car behind them up. Skeefy, though, did not get wing damage. Skeefy looking to make a move into the left-hander as Roland is so slow, but Skeefy looks to have got better traction. Roland has to let him go. Rhythm trying to get his way around and just can't. Jocelyn still didn't. Jocelyn pits. Jocelyn is chucking the intermediate tyres on. Aaron Storm stays out. He's the first and I believe only driver to pit for these Inters. Every other driver seems to be staying out. Roland pits. Roland pits for Inters, so does Jaffa. These drivers are now starting to see that these Inters are maybe the way to go. Some of them probably going to try and overcut them. This is now going to be really confusing as drivers will now be on the dry tyres and the wet tyres. We'll see what they can end up doing. Jocelyn, even after pitting for Inters, still stays in the podium playing position, stays his teammate behind him a bit further back. But Jocelyn, right behind the back of Skeefy, was almost able to put a pit stop out and end up P2. Very well done from him there. These Inters look, it doesn't look to be interweather, but it doesn't look to be dry weather either. It looks to be right in between those weather types. As other drivers to pit for Inters, Roland, Jaffa, Lewis, Lyra Racing, Nigelator and Apex. Apex doesn't count. Apex is still AI. Aaron Storm, though, is Jocelyn quicker or not? He's not got clean air, so I cannot see. But all I see is the rear end of Skeefy stepping left, right and centre. And that is not helping Skeefy's situation out at all. I believe the Inters are the better. Yep, the Inters must be better tyre now. There's spray coming off the Inters. There you go. And he's right up the exhaust pipe there of Skeefy, having to consistently get out of. Skeefy, I know what you're doing, lad. I can see you not committing full throttle. I know that you're going to hold him up so Storm can pit and get a good pit stop away. You're going to pit at the end of this lap. The only reason you've done this is so Storm can get a better pit stop. Go on then, dance to pits. There you go, Skeefy. There you go. Skeefy pits, there's a yellow flag in the middle sector. This is, I believe, Welsh Deviant. Welsh Deviant's managed to do another 360 pirouette. Deviant pitting for those softs was not the greatest idea, but Jocelyn leads. Jocelyn leads from Storm, followed by Roland, who did that massive stint, followed by Skeefy, Jaff, although he's quite massive as well. Lewis has overtaken Roland. As well as Steven receives a 3-second time penalty for corner passing there as well. Well, Steven has ended up, I believe, spinning into another one. I pretended didn't see that research track that Deviant. It's on the stream, if anyone's still watching that. Jocelyn there, that 5.9 second lead down from the lead of 7 seconds. So Skeefy's just holding him up massively. Into the hands of Storm, but not good enough holding up Skeefy there. If you want to let his team or his fellow driver in the RN ahead of him, holding him up a bit more, but just Jocelyn though moves back away. Jaffa on a 5-stop race is in P5. Very well done from him. 5-star on his debut is inside the top 10. Very well done from him there, making up 2 positions so far. Armstrong dropping down positions massively as well. Get a nice helicopter before it just gets taken straight up. As they come up the hill now, you must have and into the left hand, but into the second. It is pouring it down on the street. Jaffa though is behind his teammate. Blue flag will be shown and some orders will probably be given to let Jaffa go as Jaffa is hunting down at the scenes of Skeefy. All drivers are now on the intermediate tyres. That 2-second time back from Roland could be massively costly for him as he may actually drop 40 better games unless Skeefy ends up picking up an all-time penalty. So this weather at the end, throwing up some major curveballs. Weather just loves these drivers, doesn't it? Looks to be getting heavier and heavier. This is the reason I do see just an end plate fly off. That is an end plate of Jocelyn. Jocelyn, you have 7 laps till the 7-second lead to Storm. Do not pit. Hold it up as Nigelator's managed to do a 360 pirouette time. Let's go, Nigelator. You're up in P13. Keep going. You can do this. Even though you're a lap down, I believe in you. Yorkland. Again, Jeff. But I can know what he's also doing. That yellow flag everywhere. How will cause that yellow flag? Not now. Jaffa is called up to the back of Skeefy. Jaffa will want to fight Skeefy as best he can. We'll see what happens between these two drivers. Race up the hill. Skeefy's still ahead. That damaged end plate from Jocelyn. Handing time to Storm here. Storm is just picking away at this and just hoping. We'll see as Storm, even though he is so much quicker than Jocelyn, it's one thing to overtake, another thing. It's one thing to catch up, another thing to overtake. That's my English tonight has been absolutely. So, first of all, apologies to you guys. So, as Speedy says, Storm doing amazing. Yes, Storm is doing amazing. One person I believe is probably the best in the grid though is Jaffa there, Speedy, as Jaffa has actually done 5 pit stops around here and is managed to keep his car in P5 in this weather. On the intermediates. All 5 of those pit stops have been for front wings. But Storm are doing amazing, just hoping he can catch up. As I believe some of the ERN drivers who had their race today or commentary today have actually hopped in to cheer on Speedy, well not Speedy, cheer on Skeefy and Storm and the other drivers they drive with, like Arnson, Frag and Dame. But we still have this little hold up from Roland. Roland doing that massively long stint up until the rain there is just tremendous from him, but he's ended up creating this little pile up of cars. Arnson wanting to catch up to the back of it as well after having those, I believe, 3 collisions with Dame Zero, which all ended up in different wings for him, which Didn't help him out the best, but what else can you do as Jocelyn's still leading away. Jocelyn with that wing damage, that 7-second leads down to 3.5, so in 2 laps, Storm has half that. Another yellow flag. This is Fragstar, I believe. Fragstar spun it on his debut. No. Very unlucky from the debut since today. Started, I believe, down in P11, back down into P11, but with massive wing damage, meaning he is going to have to pit and change that front wing. Or he's going to be annoyed with himself. Deviant ends up pitting as well. I believe Deviant ends up another incident with the wall. That's penalties. Pit stops, there you go. Yep. Jocelyn with a 2-stop, Storm with a 3-stop, Roland with a 2-stop, Skeef with a 3-stop, Jaff with a 5-stop. Deviant though, best of them all with a 6-stop. Jesus, these drivers, they've put up with so much in the weather today, starting off blistering sunshine, as hot as it could be, down to this. Roland though still got Skeefy behind him. Skeefy has seen this rear end of the Renault for so long this race. Same as Storm, and just cannot get past him. Chatil picks up a 3-second time penalty. Chatil sat down there in P9. Will be hoping he can do whatever he can to make his way past Lewis's AI. Lewis's AI still sat there in P8, guys. What is going on with this race? As I believe Chatil's dropped back by 1.2 seconds. I don't know what's happened there. Maybe just a bad sector or something, but Storm catching massively up to the back of Jocelyn there as well. Skeefy just hoping he can do whatever he can. He does not want to apply his foot fully down, as every single time a driver seems to do that, they have ended up spinning, causing some type of damage to themselves or another driver. But you get so much of a better exit than the Renault. Makes his way down the inside. A very nice move from him there. Casually makes his way down the inside as they now come through the swimming pool. This whole circuit is now a swimming pool. It's not the swimming pool corner of the circuit, it's just swimming pool. As Jaff will be the next car to try and dispatch of Roland. Skeefy puts his car up into the podium player positions. Storm though, Jaffa, Roland still battling, sorry about that. Jaffa has made his way past Roland, as now Rhythm will be the next car to try and make his way past. Storm though, caught all the way up to the back of Jocelyn. Jocelyn has led this race for so long. We'll be hoping he can just survive to the end with that wing damage, as his wing damage is probably hurting him so much as they now come through this left-hander. Slow as a snail coming through there as it is wet, and Jocelyn has got wing damage. Storm barely applying anything to the accelerator, just tickling it a little bit to try and get any power down into this rear wheels and stop the slide. Rhythm has got past Roland now as well. Roland is slipping down positions now. I believe Roland does have wing damage as well, so that may be a reason he is dropping down. Jocelyn though, so much more ERS as Fragstar has retired. Fragstar has retired in the swimming pool. This has brought out the full safety car. The relaps from the end, this safety car will be out for 2 of them, meaning I believe it is just 1 lap. They have to race, as Frag has crashed there. Removal of the front wheel. Bjorkland has picked up a drive-through penalty, sat down there in 11th. He's going to be so annoyed with himself there, as he can only serve that on the last lap of the lap race. Speedy upset that Frag has ended up crashing as well. No drivers looking like they want to pit. You'd be stupid to pit at this stage of the race, but now catching up to the safety car means it's going to either be a 1-lap safety car or a 2-lap safety car. I believe it'll be a 2-lap, meaning we're going to be pushed right up to the last lap. Jocelyn, that kick of oversteer then manages to catch it, barely. As now they come up the hill, they will catch up to the safety car. There you go. We'll now wait for Skeefy to catch these 13 seconds up to the drivers up ahead. He'll be followed by Jaffa, Rhythm, and the rest of these drivers. Jocelyn's going to be praying this is a 2-lap safety car, meaning Storm only has 1 lap to get past him. But Arnson here, 3 cars ahead of him, all have time penalties. Arnson could jump up to P4 here. We do not know what can happen. We will just have to wait for the end of the race. Fragstar has now left the session. I'm not surprised after a DNF. This is going to be a 2-lap safety car, isn't it? Ooh. This could throw some spanners in the air. Now it's time to throw out your strategy book and just drive. As safety car is not going to be in this lap. There's no point in the safety car coming in as the field isn't bunched up. If it does, I'm going to be shocked. The safety car's in this lap. Way to take the words from my mouth, game. Jocelyn is now just going to back him, Storm, Skeefy and Jaffa. The only cars to have caught the safety car. Back up as much as they can. That is the shortest safety car I have seen. A 1 lap safety car that is in this lap. Jocelyn will lead them away for 2 laps. Lap 38 and lap 39. Jocelyn darts. Jocelyn's got a massive lead as Storm just wasn't able to put the power down there. Skeefy now looking to make an overtake, but Jocelyn. Jaffa making a move up the inside of Skeefy, then battling their way, banging wheels. Skeefy can just let him go. As they now come up the hill, Jaffa's made his way past Ski now. But Jaffa with that 3-second time penalty, even if he ends up getting past Storm, he will probably drop down Bjork and pick up another 3-second time penalty. That is for multiple warnings. Jocelyn, though, it leads the way. Storm so close to the back of him, probably didn't want to get caught up right behind him. As Jocelyn still leads them away. Bjorklund ends up pitting. This means Nigelator could actually make his way finally up into P11. This will be the highest I believe I've seen him, which he'll be very happy with. Even though it isn't a championship position, still very good for him. But Jocelyn still leading them away. Storm trying to do whatever he can to catch up. Jaffa also trying to do whatever he can, but it just seems that Jocelyn's got this pace, even with a missing end plate, to keep that car facing forward and to keep it just driving in this intermediate weather. Wouldn't say it's full wet yet, but geez, it went from bright sunny at Monaco to just dark and rainy. Let's just put those 2 words together. Nigelator still sat there in P12. I do believe he actually made his way past. He might have been on a lap down as Deviant ends up pitting as well. So final lap of the race now. Jocelyn still leads EO and Storm from Jaffa. Storm probably throwing everything and the kitchen sink at Jocelyn to try and just do whatever he can to catch him up, and cannot at this moment in time. We'll see what they can end up doing. Jocelyn still leading his way. Skeefy is still just trying to hold rhythm behind him. Roland as well. Skeefy is in a good position as he is just staying to the back of Jaffa. Jaffa with the 3-second time penalty. Arnson, though, sat down there. Will want to just try and get past Roland. Roland seems to be holding every single driver up today. Seems to be acting like a mobile chicane. Storm and Jaffa still battling it out. Jaffa wanting to get past Storm, probably to create a little bit of a buffer to Skeefy. Maybe even try and hold on to that podium position. But it seems to be that Jocelyn is just leading them away. Jocelyn there. No driver has been able to come close to him today, even with that wing damage. He has been immense throughout this race as Bjorklund ends up pitting again. I am confused yet. Nigelator is a lap down from Bjorklund, okay. But coming through to finish this race, Storm just, Storm's going to hold Jaffa up as best he can here. I believe Storm's actually got wing damage. Yeah, he's missing an end plate, that's why he's holding Jaffa up. But Jocelyn comes across the line to take the checkered flag. Brilliant job from him there. Aaron Storm takes 2nd place on the podium, followed by Skeefy. Skeefy then Arnson. Arnson has managed to catch up from down there in P7 up to P4, followed by then Rhythm, Roland, Jaffa, Shatil, Lewis, who's is AI, then I believe Liar Racing, and Bjorklund will end up getting 1 championship point unless he DNFs on this lap, which will give it to Nigelator, who's driving a brilliant race, even though he has been that far down. Jaffa saying he is pissed off, and I can understand why. Just couldn't get past, dropping down to P7 there as well with those time penalties. Just double with Bjorklund. Bjorklund probably not wanting to cause any incidences now. I say that as he decides to turn this circuit into Tokyo Drift Central. Bjorklund, we do not need to see your drifting skills around here. I do not want you DNFing on the last lap, as you are just drifting everywhere. Oh my god. Another drift. As Skeefy is congratulating all the drivers in the chat with a very nice race, as Bjorklund. Was that an attempt at... Oh, Jesus, the glitch. Bjorklund trying to attempt a 180 entry then, or a reverse entry, as he's drifting around another corner here. Bjorklund giving us our own little show of his drifting expertise now. Being careful not to actually DNF, as if he did, it'd be a bit embarrassing on the last lap. Just left, right, drifting, lighting your rears up. If you're... There you go. Ends up finishing in P11, which will probably add up to P10. I do believe that was an AI driving the whole race for Lewis then. Ended up Lewis getting driver of the day, even though it's an AI. The AI congratulating itself there. Very nicely done from the AI. Very nicely done. So, Jocelyn, a brilliant drive there from the Racing Point driver. Is sat on the top step of the podium. He is closely followed then by ERN Storm and ERN Skiffy, P2 and P3 respectively for the two ERN drivers. Jocelyn, who actually started the race on the mediums, I believe kept those mediums on up until the wet weather. Oh, no, medium soft, then medium, then onto softs under the Dame Zero safety car, and then onto intermediates under the Fragstar safety car. So very nicely done from all of these drivers tonight. Very well done from them. And all these drivers will be hoping that they can take this energy onto next week, as we see that Jaffa got 6 seconds time penalty, which demoted him down. But he did end up picking fastest lap up, which will count as championship points. So here is your confirmation of Jocelyn winning. Then ERN Storm, ERN Skiffy, NRC Arnson, AMS Rhythm, F1XL Roland, AMS Jaffa, SRN Chatil, Lewis, SRN Liar Racing, SRN Bjorkland, The Nigelator, Welsh Deviant, Fragstar, ARL Apex, Dame Zero, Breezy, BRT, and BRT Mystica so rounds out your drivers. A very big thank you for everyone that tuned in today. That was Division 2 for NRC at round 18 of Monaco. I have no clue what circuit is next week. I believe it is Russia for round 19 in this championship. And if my memory serves me correct, where is he? Jaffa can actually win the championship, so we will see. But thank you everyone for joining me today for the stream.